Greetings, Gulls, and welcome to This Week at Endicott. I'm Rebecca Turner.
And I'm Brian Mallett. Here's what's happening this week across campus.
The Beverly Council on Aging Walking Club is back, and it's time to get your walk on. On Tuesday, join our elder neighbors for some light exercise and conversation. Meet outside Wiley Conference Center in Fountain at 10 a.m. You'll have another opportunity to walk on Thursday. Sign up through the link in your Blue Buzz email.
Tuesday is XR Day at Endicott. From noon until 4 p.m., stop by the LSB lobby in the Klebanoff Auditorium and compete for prizes in the XR Virtual Reality Tournament. Learn from experts how VR and AR are being used across professions.
At 4 p.m., continue with the Kaepernick effect discussion in WAX 335. Consider the effect of Kaepernick's kneeling and the other questions in regards to race, sports, and social justice.
At 5 p.m. in the Post Center Hospitality Suite, learn about volunteer leadership opportunities for students interested in dating violence prevention work with teenagers. Dinner is provided. Register through the link in your Blue Buzz email.
At 7 p.m. in the LSB Auditorium, catch a screening of the film Promising Young Women and participate in the discussion following the film.
Stop by Gully's for Oasis Tuesdays at 8 p.m. with frozen mocktails and for Tuesday trivia, starting at 8:30 p.m. This week's trivia topic is on Netflix programming.
At 8 p.m., join Surge and break the fast with a Ramadan dinner in the Post Center Hospitality Suite. Sign up using the link in your Blue Buzz email.
On Wednesday, donate to the Red Cross Blood Drive, taking place from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. in Lower Callahan. You can pre-register through the link in your Blue Buzz.
Let's TikTok about algorithms at 3:30 p.m. in LSB's Klebanoff Auditorium. Hear from content creators across a number of social media platforms as they discuss influencing 101, algorithms, and misinformation.
On Thursday, celebrate Poetry Month with some readings in the Halley Library. At 4 p.m., join visiting poet Clem Schobeneck along with featured writers from the Young Writer Series in the Endicott Review. There will be an open mic, so stop by and share your own work.
Head over to the Beverly Senior Center from 4:30 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. for game night and pizza. Join in the fun with a good old-fashioned board game. Sign up through the link in your Blue Buzz email.
At 5:30 p.m., all are welcome to the Catholic Mass and dinner, taking place in the Post Center Hospitality Suite.
Don't miss the Main Stage Theater production of the Rocky Horror Show. Performances run Thursday through Saturday in the Rose Theater. Reserve your ticket using the link in the Blue Buzz.
On Friday, the Summit Student Leadership Conference, Changing Tides, will run the Hempstead Commons. Sessions focus on embracing ambiguity, leaning into transition, and creating space for personal wellness. This conference is free and no registration is required. View the schedule through the link in your Blue Buzz email.
April is College Pride Month. On Friday at 3 p.m., help spell out pride on the grass of the Hempstead Commons using flags. The first 100 people will get a treat from Cookie Monster.
Northeast ARC delivers lifelong support services to people with developmental disabilities. Friday night happenings take place every Friday night from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m., and volunteers are always needed. Themes include talent shows, pizza parties, craft nights, dance, and more. You can sign up through the link in your Blue Buzz email.
At 6:30 p.m., join the off-campus trip to In the Game in Peabody and get ready for some games and fun. Reserve your spot through the link in your Blue Buzz email.
On Saturday, it's Accepted Students Day at Endicott. Be sure to take a moment to greet the prospective students and their families as they move across campus and see all the great things Endicott has to offer.
Men's volleyball has earned the top spot in the upcoming NECC tournament. Come by the McDonald Gymnasium this Saturday and cheer them off through the playoffs. The exact game time will be determined later in the week. You can go to ecgoals.com for more information.
Late Night Locale features succulent making. Stop by Lower Callahan at 9 p.m. and make your own little plant to take home and love.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. There are a number of events taking place across campus. Click on the link in the Blue Buzz for a full list and description.
Applications to study abroad in fall 2022 are open through Friday, April 15th. For the complete list of semester abroad programs, study abroad information sessions, and all the great study abroad incentives, click on the link in your Blue Buzz.
Do you love a specific book? Let others know. Be a part of the Endicott community of readers. Share a book recommendation through the link in your Blue Buzz, and you will be entered to win a $20 Amazon gift card.
Did you know that a number of Endicott alums have continued on in their careers by working on at the college? Matt Petrini sat down with Ben Horgan to discuss Ben's journey from an Endicott undergrad to his current role as Assistant Director in Academic Coaching. Let's check it out.
Greetings, goals, and welcome to a very special segment of ECTV. I'm Matt Petrini, and I'm joined today by the Assistant Director of Academic Coaching, Ben Horgan. Ben, how are you?
Hey Matt, I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing good. So you are an Endicott alumni, and I have asked you here today because I was hoping that you could we could start by you maybe saying a little bit about what made you want to come to Endicott in the first place.
Sure. First off, I loved this school. I wouldn't have come back here in the first place to work if I didn't have a great experience. So by the time I graduated, I had such a strong experience. But I remember in high school, I had like a so-so experience. I had a decent experience in high school. I was involved, I did okay, I got decent grades. But for me, other than the common reasons that people say when they choose this school, like internship program, location, great academic programs, for me it was kind of more personal. In addition to those reasons, I associated Endicott with challenge. It just felt like a challenge to come to this school, especially as an undecided English major, to know not just the academic challenge, but really how I was going to use this opportunity in college to grow as a person, and then in 4 years enter my career as an adult and as a professional. So I stepped into this campus the first day knowing it was going to be a challenge.
Awesome. Well, I understand that your first years at Endicott, you were achieving academically, but you were striving for something a little more fulfilling socially, a little more, it felt a little unsubstantive at first. I was hoping you could tell a little bit more about why you felt that way.
Totally. Like you said, I came in as English. I was a little unsure about that, but my academic experience was, going well so far. I was discovering how strong I was at writing, which is not just putting words on a page outside of your brain, but it's creativity, it's communication, it's really picking apart somebody's argument that they make. I would come home and have much stronger arguments with my family. I felt like I could compete with the intellect of some of my family. Anyways, my experience academically was great, but I definitely felt more so unfulfilled on the professional side and definitely the social side. My first year was relatively connected with people on campus. I was connected enough that I had things to do. We always went to Callahan together. We spent weekends together, and it was fun. I had fun. It wasn't not fun, but still, by the time spring semester freshman year came around, and then fall semester sophomore year, I just felt like there was gaps in my experience. I had heard so much about what college could be, but I hadn't yet found that yet, and I was starting to become disconnected from the group of friends I was spending time with because maybe they were making decisions that I wasn't too sure about, and our interests and values just started to go in separate directions. So I started spending more time alone. I felt a little isolated at times. And so for a time, my experience was spending a lot of time in the library doing work, and then going back and just kind of spending time on my own, watching Netflix shows and stuff. So it was a little isolating for a while.
Yeah, I've felt the same way generally freshman year, sophomore year.
Yeah.
Once the pandemic was in full swing, I'm sure everyone felt a little bit isolated, and so it was more important to be closer than ever during that time. But as a freshman, at least for the first semester, there was a group of friends that there were some kids here and there who I made friends with right away. And I'm just not in those social circles anymore. And then there are others who I still talk to regularly, partially through classes and others just through knowing them and seeing them around campus. But I definitely, at least maybe to a lesser degree, know what you were feeling in that sense.
Totally.
So, in previous discussions, you and I have talked about, let's say, coming out of in between sophomore and junior year. So moving forward a little bit, you went on to Haiti. I'm not sure if that was was that for a service trip or just for to study abroad, but you mentioned it was pretty important going to Haiti for between that time. What was that like?
Totally. So I decided to go to Haiti because I did a couple clubs and I did orientation. I'd started tutoring by that point. Like I'd started to get involved, but still definitely felt unsure what I was going to do with my career, and definitely still felt like social disconnected from other people. But one of my friends who I met through a club recommended service through going abroad. And so going to Haiti was, at the time, it was a trip that they offered for education students and nursing students who at the time couldn't go abroad. And I just happened to join that trip as an English major. So the nursing majors were involved with the community, like doing nursing work. And the rest of us were trying to build the foundation of a home, which we built maybe this high off the ground. I don't know if they can see this, but not too high off the ground. So we didn't build too much, but it was a week-long trip, and yeah, definitely had a big impact on me, which I can describe further if you want.
I mean, it definitely sounds like it mattered a lot to you. There was another thing we were going to talk about going forward that I'm sure that I definitely wanted to hear a lot about, and that would be you've told me in the past that you, during this time, developed a pretty personal conviction to write learning journals for connecting with the current generation and kind of inspiring them to read more, and that you said you really generated a lot of ideas during this time, and that this sounds really important. So
Totally.
I was hoping you could maybe speak a little bit more about what made you get that conviction.
Totally. I mean, with service trips, I really doubt this. I'm never going to have a ton of money in my life. I'm not going to be a millionaire or something. So, with a service trip, they really encourage you to find ways that you can take this experience and make a difference in your community. You don't need to make a ton of money and then donate it all to Haiti or people living in conditions in this country that aren't great. But as I was heading back to the States, I was thinking, I just had this experience. What can I do with my major, with my career, etc., that can make a difference for people in the country, so that maybe there can be a ripple effect and impact people that really live in some challenging conditions, like access to food and water and shelter and healthcare and things like that. So definitely developed a conviction. I was a creative writing major to write stories, and I knew from just being a student that my generation, didn't really like reading too much.
Yeah.
Love of reading was kind of pushed out of us during the K-12 system. So I started obsessively journaling and reading fiction and trying to learn from the classics and really popular books like Harry Potter. What made people want to engage with books and what would help somebody to grow as a person as a result of reading a novel. And so I spent so much of my time outside of classes junior and senior year after that trip trying to develop the ideas associated with producing a book like this.
Did you, when you returned to, or at Endicott, did you speak to any creative writing, any of your creative writing professors or English professors sort of about these ideas you're having?
That's a really great question, and I really didn't. This was kind of a personal mission that I went on to, because I had creative writing classes, and I could have went to professors and said, hey, I had this really shocking, this really thought-provoking experience, and I want to go and, can I work with you on this, or can I come to you during office hours? And I didn't. So in my classes, I tended to just do the work for the class, and then on my own time, just go in idea world.
Well, it sounds like it did work. If there's one more thing that I feel you would want people watching this to take away, would it be that your goal is to focus on helping students and yourself understand and really develop their growth potential and their value potential, especially in academic contexts, in the business world, and as they graduate?
Yeah.
Am I correct in this?
Yeah, totally. I mean, both of those are really important to me. Like, you know, in my main role, like I help run a center that's providing direct service to students on areas like, you know, motivation and self-awareness. And so like growth potential for me is like somebody recognizing like all the strengths and talents that they have and like committing a path to like realizing those and putting those into action. And then value potential is like is actually finding meaning from your experiences, what you're engaged in. So really like I only interact with like really 5 students through my role, but if I wanted to send a message to like any person in these years of your life, is to just like really like invest in your own journey and find people who are like on a similar journey to like how you identify authentically. Yeah.
Is that something you like? I know you personally believe that. Is that something you fully came up with, or was there at Endicott any teacher or experience in particularly that like made you see that or helped you realize your own growth and value potential whilst there?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to make it sound like my whole college experience was in like, notebook world. Like without the people on this campus, and they're across the board, like, you know us all in academic success, so like those people for sure. Faculty, student affairs, counseling, like a whole mix of people, mentors here and there. Like without the people that I formed relationships with here, I never would have like discovered this growth and value potential. I never would have found it myself, first of all. And if I didn't find it myself, like how can I help somebody else find it in themselves? So definitely like had so many rich like interpersonal relationships here.
All right. Well, I don't know if this is wrapping up a little early, but I want to thank you for joining me, Ben. I'm not sure if you have any last remarks.
I mean, thanks for having me on here. I really enjoy conversations about topics like these, and I'm happy that you chose me to engage in this with you.
I'm happy to as well. It is something that seemed interesting to me, and it's something that I think might provoke thoughts and maybe spark a personal journey in other students on campus who see this. And so with that, I want to thank you, Gulls, for watching our segment, and bye for now.
Bye.
That's all we have for you this week, Gulls.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.